I've always looked forward to the proposal way more than the actual wedding day.
I blame Bella Niger.
Yeah.
Wedding
Words
digest.
Words on point.
Because you have
these are online forums of weddings.
Instagram, pictures,
videos,
Pinterest.
Yeah. When we clash, like it's really raw, it's horrible. We can be like really mean to each other, but then we have to stop that in the mid-argument and say, no, we're gonna like look after each other.
Some want money and gold, others want many things, but I'm content with you, Lord.
Like we were saying about Bella Niger, I have nothing against them. I refer to them as well, but you see that and it's like #goals. That is now what my wedding should be.
No, I didn't. I got married in primary school. I got married behind the tuck shop.
Yeah, people marry and say this man's gonna make me happy. And that's not what God wants him to do. God wants him to head. Wants him to wash you with the word.
But if I don't show love to my brother, then I lie to myself that I believe.
For her performance on episode 10 of Sound Words called Bridezilla. You get ready also, it's going to be amazing. Let's go.
So, hi, my name's Judy.
My name's Tara.
And I'm Mariam.
And we're on the Sound Words today to talk about being a Bridezilla. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
It's going to be really good.
So, they're calling us now. We've got to go. We'll see you later.
Hi guys, welcome to Sound Words, now at episode 10, and I've got 3 blessed women with me for today's show called Bridezilla. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm a school science teacher.
Hi, my name is Tara Smith and I lead a ministry called Cellar Women and the Good Wife.
And my name's Judy. I am a youth worker from Somerset.
Praise God, you guys all do amazing things, and today we're looking at Bridezilla. I'm looking at this person, this monster that we get on the wedding day. What is Bridezilla? If you can just describe Bridezilla for our viewers, what is Bridezilla?
Well, honestly, Bridezilla, I would say, is, well, we all know what Godzilla is. We've all heard of Godzilla. It's just the bride version of a Godzilla. And Godzilla, of course, is a monster. So a Bridezilla would be a woman that becomes almost unrecognizable, like a monster when it comes to her wedding day, or when it's when it's coming to the leading up of her wedding day. So that's where we definitely get that from.
Do you think Bridezillas actually exist?
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely.
They definitely exist.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe. I think it's more of a stereotype. I'm not really sure.
You think it's more of a stereotype?
Yeah.
You guys think it actually exists?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There are women, when it comes to their wedding day, they are completely different people. Someone that might have been really nice and sweet before, because it's one of those things, a lot of girls from when they were wee high, they've been dreaming about this day, and it's like, and because we have the idea that it's only going to happen once, sometimes you want it a certain way, and I understand that. I don't agree with like the behaviors that can come about from that, but I think if you're a Bridezilla, I don't think you actually know. I don't think you would recognize yourself.
And that's exactly where I'm going with this. I mean, a Bridezilla doesn't know that they're a Bridezilla, right? Okay, so what are the symptoms? How do we know what a Bridezilla? What does a Bridezilla look like?
So opposite of the fruits of the spirit, really. Like just the carnality comes out in full force, and it's a lot of people, let's just say, from our community, Christian ladies getting married, and if you're a Christian lady, you've carried yourself in a certain way, but then when you're planning for a wedding, suddenly your Christian values are just completely gone, and doesn't matter who they are. You know, people have arguments with their mums and their uncles and their aunties when it comes to getting married. It's like, why are you suddenly this person all because of this one day? So I think it's just opposite of the fruits of the spirit is probably the easiest way to say.
So you're belligerent, you're angry, you're self-willed, you're self-focused, and it's just this almost like this imploding of somebody.
I think like there's a goal, and like people become absolutely ruthless to get there, and so they control everything and they disregard everybody's opinions, and it's getting married, and you know, coming up to the start of a marriage is a really stressful time because you're making the biggest commitment of your life. This is the culmination of your adolescence ending, you know, well, not technically, but you know, your adolescence is over, you become an adult, and you know, you grow into that married life, that structure that society has for you, and then you know, that's a very, very difficult time for a person to go through, and they have to go through it so quickly, and to plan this day and get it right, where everybody, you know, you've got these competitions, so you're like, your friends get married at like relatively the same time within a few years, and then you know, this person's wedding had this and that was beautiful, and then you get like bride envy. There's so much pressure to get it right, and I think a bridezilla, what people imagine a bridezilla to be, is just someone who's really focused on getting that right, and is really rude and controlling and just crazy about it, I guess.
We've got a bit of a subtitle there. You said bride envy.
Bride envy.
What's bride envy? I haven't heard that. What's that?
I blame Bella Niger.
Wedding
Wedding Digest.
Weddings
on point.
Yeah.
You have
these are online forums of weddings.
Instagram pictures,
Facebook,
videos, Pinterest.
Yeah.
There's UK Bride as well,
Yeah.
where you can put up questions about your wedding,
Yeah.
and then everyone can comment, and like they say the most horrendous things and the nicest
Bride
things.
envy. This is a real thing.
But I think even before social media and all these pages and things, I think it's kind of, it's been boiling, you know. I think it started from, I don't think it's just now, I think it's something that's always pretty much existed. A wedding has always been a big deal. If we remember, Jesus's first miracle was at a wedding, and you know, the wine ran out, and he turned the water into wine. It was like it's a big deal. So everyone, you know, has to celebrate. You know,
are you kind of saying that it's okay to be a bridezilla?
I'm not saying that it's okay, but I'm saying that we need to understand that it's a big deal. And I think I'm coming from the point where I think I really understand. It might, I don't know how to put it, you know. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Well, I want to hear more about just bride envy. I don't know how does that work?
Well, like, you have your wedding, and then like, if other people around you are getting married at the same time, it almost becomes a bit of a competition as to, you know, on my hen night we did this, and on their hen night we did that, and that wasn't good enough. And like, it's like, you know, careers and the Joneses thing, and keeping up appearances. It's exactly the same, but it does happen with weddings, and I think like, you know, even now, like me and Jason say like, oh, our wedding was different, but sometimes we'll say, well, our wedding was better. Our wedding was beautiful, man. I loved it. But like, some people, we will say we think that was better or not. It's completely wrong to say that there was.
But and you're saying that your wedding was better.
Because Jason's not here, so I'll be in trouble.
Okay, but even to get to a level where you think that, did you have to be a bridezilla to get there?
I don't know. How can I know if I'm a bridezilla? I think like there's always certain aspects of your wedding that you really want, and there was some stuff that like we definitely clung on to, and then we changed, and then we had to let go, and but I think, you know, with every wedding, I don't think it's very fair to label anybody a bridezilla, because that whole comes with a lot of shame and like a sort of bullying term almost. I think if someone's showing controlling behaviour, or they're really stressed out about something,
that's good.
Then it's much better to see it And like, if you're gonna name it, then name it nicely, but also to look after that person and to say
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah, I think
how can we help you, rather than you're a bridezilla, stop it.
Yeah.
definitely going back to what you were saying about bride envy as well. It's not even just the bride, it's a family thing.
Yeah.
You know, coming from the cultural background that I come from as well, and I know a lot of people from, you know, my parts of the world, it's a big deal, and it's like sometimes it's a family pressure as well. And sometimes you've got like these, I don't know, could you call them like family zillas, and it's almost like a competition between like, so if so and so had, you know, I don't know, something massive at the wedding, it's like, oh, we have to have this as well. And it's becoming almost like it's like a social status, you know. Weddings are definitely a social status symbol. It's like, you know, the bigger the better means that, you know, I've arrived. I was listening to something not so long ago when they were saying that back in the day, a wedding was the beginning of adulthood. So it was like, you know, you're coming into your own at, you know, when you get married, it's the start. And now in our society, it's almost become more of it's like the icing on the cake, you know. So after you've got your job, you've got your house, you know, you've got your car, you've got everything that you want, it's like, okay, well, let me add a marriage, or let me get a wedding on top. So it's almost like saying, so rather than it being the foundation of the building, it's become the exterior in our society nowadays. But, you know, it's not true for everybody, but you're seeing it more as weddings become more and more and more commercial and everything like that.
And staged.
You know, it's becoming very much, you know, I've even heard statistics on like the more people spend on the wedding, the shorter the marriage lasts and things like that. But it's not true for everybody. But going back to what you were saying, I think it's not even just the bride, it is a family sometimes pressure that
and that's my concern though, because I feel like when people get married, they forget they're Christians. And it's like, regardless of what you're going through, whether it's a death, whether it's marriage, whether it's exams, you still kind of have to stand on those morals and those values, and you still have to, you know, have a standard that you live by. And, you know, I think it's Peter, I believe, he said we shouldn't merely have our beauty by our adornment, our hair and our braiding, but our gentle and meek spirit. And it's like, you know, your wedding can be big, but if you haven't got a gentle and meek spirit, you're ugly. The bride is completely ugly. You can have a £5,000 dress, but your spirit is ugly. So I think regardless of the situation, it should never be, oh, well, it's a stressful time for her. She's a Christian. For everything that you do, you know, show Christ in every single thing that you do. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. I think generations that are coming behind us should remember that if you can put the wedding in the bigger picture of marriage and understand what marriage is, then you kind of understand the emphasis you should give on it. You realise, like you said, it's not what is built off, it's just the beginning. So I think we have to look at the bigger picture and put the wedding itself in a little corner, because it's a bigger picture. And I think that's what we're forgetting nowadays.
So, but don't you think that we have, don't you think that we have so many contributors and so many stakeholders to this view of the wedding, society as a whole? Do you think society as a whole plays a part to what people think their wedding should look like, what they think their wedding should be?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we were saying about Bella and Nigel, I have nothing against them. You know, I refer to them as well, but you see that and it's like #goals. That is now what my wedding should be. But I believe that's again allowing the world to kind of change our mindset towards the wedding. But if you look at the Bible and say #goals, I think it'd be completely different to what Bella and I just showing us. So I think again we have to go back to the beginning and realise that marriage is a good thing, but it's a small thing, and we shouldn't allow social media to define what our marriage should be. For instance, Bella and I put on that bridesmaids should always wear black. I'm pretty sure bridesmaids will start wearing black and they'll think it's a normal thing. So I think again we have to just be discerning and know when to ignore things, when to consider things, and how much weight we put on them as well.
It's good. I mean, I was going to ask you guys about what you think. Where do you think this Bridezilla, the building up of this Bridezilla, where do you think it begins? And does it begin at a time when does it begin at puberty? Does it begin before that? Does it come from media? You know, where does it actually begin? Because I think it's not just the 6 months to 18 months before the wedding. It could be a bit more deeper than that.
Of course, definitely. It goes back to childhood, you know. It definitely goes back to, you know, those fairy tales,
Barbie dolls,
you know, Disney, you know, things like that. It definitely goes back to the idea of happily ever after, you know, you watch any good Disney.
We'll come back to that.
You watch any good Disney film and it ends in, you know, and they lived happily, or something like Cinderella, you know, just these, you know, ideas from childhood.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I think for women, it's just a big deal, much more of a bigger deal than it is. Little boys don't grow up dreaming of their wedding days.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
But Judy disagrees, doesn't she?
Well, not entirely. I think that like it seems to be a very underlying thing in our society. Like we have wedding season, there are wedding magazines. You can walk through a shop and everyone will see that there's this wedding stuff everywhere. And I think like it like we can't ignore the effect on boys that it has. And I mean, for girls, we're very vocal about everything, and so we can tell people when we're being affected by it. But boys are generally very much less talkative and much more closed about how stuff affects them. And I think that wedding season and the pressure of weddings will still affect boys, but probably as much, but in a different way.
I understand. I think when you say it will affect boys, I'm talking about girls have been dreaming about their wedding since they were 5. I don't think a 5-year-old boy has been dreaming about his wedding.
Well, did you? Okay,
Well, they might.
Did you guys actually dream about your wedding at a young age? And what did you think? Like, you know, was it with marshmallows or that?
It's just that I think the fairy tale princess. You know, you just see a princess. It's something that I remember. You know, being a girl and just thinking, oh, I want to be a princess. And you know, when you'd see like a Disney movie and then it would end and the girl would be in this princess dress. It would be, you know, the big and she would be a princess, and it's something that I think a lot of girls just kind of wanted to aspire to be. You want to be a princess. I don't think a boy is thinking, I want to be someone's prince one day. I think obviously with boys, as they grow up and they become men, and then it comes to actually you know, getting married, then that's when obviously they're thinking about it. But they have the pressure from the, you know, the financial aspects of it and things like that. But if you think about it, you know, did you want to get married when you was 5 years old? Like, was you dreaming about your wedding?
No, I didn't. I got married in primary school. I got married behind the top shop at primary school. I didn't, and I can't lie to you. Even now, I mean, I sit in a place as a man. I just want the marriage. The wedding's blah. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah, I want it to be good. I thought about it, and there are things I would like it to be, but I could easily live life without the wedding and just the marriage.
I think that's a guy thing, definitely, because like going back to that princess idea, the wedding is when, as a woman, you get to dress up to everything. You know, you get to get made up. You know, you look beautiful. Everyone's going to tell you how beautiful you look, and you know, you want that, and you're only going to get it once. It's that idea that this is only going to happen once. I know you don't, as a Christian, you don't really want it to happen a second or a third time, you know, but it's only going to happen once. And if I'm only going to have this day once in my whole lifetime, ever, it has to be amazing.
And that's where Bridezilla come from, isn't it?
Yeah, it's understandable because it's not like a birthday that you get every single year. Every year you get a birthday. Some years you don't have to do anything big for your birthday because you know, by the grace of God, you'll get another birthday. But with your wedding day, you know, unless you're planning on getting married again, or you know, which most of us are not, you don't want it to happen again.
But then I disagree with it being understandable, because I feel like it's becoming. I can emphasize, but I wouldn't say it's understandable, because I feel like, where are your Christian values? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't the perfect bride. My husband will let you know that. But I just feel like we shouldn't make an excuse that, okay, because it's your wedding, you can be a bit funny.
I think you can.
Oh, no,
I think, you know, like when like the bride comes in late, you know, the bride's prerogative to be late. She can be late. It's her day, you know. It's your day. It's your everything about it. I'm coming from the perspective of, for me, I understand it. I don't agree with the behaviours that some brides exhibit, but I completely understand the feeling of, this is only going to happen once, and it has to be big, or it has to be beautiful. That is where I'm coming from.
Yeah. But then it crosses the line, like, you know, it comes to forgiveness. You're allowed to not forgive someone if X, Y, and Z. Yeah. You're allowed to not show fruits of the Spirit when you're getting married. You know,
I see
so for me, it's like, okay, you're behaving this way because of X, Y, and Z, but let's change it. Let's not think it's okay to be that way. It's not okay to be that way.
Absolutely.
So I think for me, it's just, I don't know, reteaching people like, okay, it is a big day for you. Yes, it is the only time you're going to get married by God's grace. But remember, you are a Christian first and foremost, and it is just one day. Just keep reminding people that over and over and over again. That's what I think is really important now.
Yeah.
And if Bridezilla is the makeup of all these things that young girls have been taught from a young age, and kind of the wedding day is the day where it kind of just all comes out. If it doesn't come out in the wedding day, is it going to come out in the marriage? Because isn't she gonna have all these expectations about, because Ken and Barbie, because Ken did certain things for Barbie, so shouldn't Ken do certain things in the marriage? And isn't there an expectation? Do you guys ever have an expectation of how your men need to be, and are they all underpinned by scripture?
Yeah, that is good. My expectation comes from my dad. So the way my dad brought us up like princesses. So I wouldn't allow someone to mistreat me, because my dad taught me a man should treat a woman like this. So it wasn't based on scripture, although it wasn't a bad, a bad teaching.
Yeah.
And I think those expectations are bad, because like you're trying to hint at, it should be based on scripture completely. It should be based on scripture, and we make it into all these other things. We make it into EastEnders, we make it into the programs we watch, but it should be based on scripture, and often it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, my expectations of, my husband also came from my dad, and even after getting married, there were certain things that I just expected of my husband, because that's what I saw my dad do. I saw my dad. Until my mum learned how to drive, my dad would take my mum everywhere. Wherever she needed to go. He would drive her, and then I got married thinking, Gabe was going to be the same. No. So it's like, I need to get my driving on really quick, because it's not the same. Everything it's different. So we do have expectations when you go into the marriage, but I don't think I don't know if that's in relation to the wedding. I don't know if you expect a lot from the wedding than you expect a lot from the marriage. I don't really know how to.
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure.
Anyone who gets married is doing themselves a huge disservice to not do marriage preparation. It's really important that you take some time, however you do it, whether you do it like with Alpha or whoever do the marriage prep, but it's really important to take some time and work out the expectations that you do have of each other, because like I didn't grow up with a dad completely around all the time, and my personal life like is chaotic, like I'm quite up and down, and I get anxious and stuff like that, and so like Jason has to take all of that on, and Jason suffers in his own way, and so I have to take on some of that, and like when we clash, like it's really raw, it's horrible, we can be like really mean to each other, but then we have to stop that in the mid-argument and say, no, we're gonna like look after each other, and we love each other, and we're committed to each other. And so if we don't think about that before we go into marriage, it's going to be a huge shock. Like it's a huge shock, and it can be really painful to get married and realize, oh my goodness, what have I put my foot in? I feel like now I've got a bear trap on my foot. Either I cut off my leg, or you feel really entrapped by that situation. And so if you don't like work out the values and the stuff that you both carry first, and really choose to invest in the marriage rather than the wedding day. And I don't mean with money, I mean with time and effort. Spend time together, like however you do that, whatever like is fine, but spending time together and just learning about each other and looking after each other, and like learning how to argue well, and to just to
I don't think anybody would think about that, learning how to argue
definitely
well.
I really
it's
like
really
what
big.
you're saying about preparation as well. It does make a lot of sense, because they say marriage is the only thing where you get your license before you actually have gone through the process. You take a test, and then you get you prepare for a test, and you get your certificates at the end, or you would do your driving, you would prep, and then you'd get your license at the end, but you get your wedding license before you've actually done anything. So it is so important for something that's is going to last a lifetime until death do you part. You have to prepare for it.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to see the wedding day for exactly what it is. It is a celebration. You're worshipping God that day foremost. That is a day that God has given you to celebrate your love for each other, and ultimately it's a celebration of love, and and to behave controlling is actually contradictory, and it's a horrible paradox if you have a person who's like just bound up in all this controlling behavior and stress to love someone like that, and then but what I meant to say is ultimately it's a huge celebration of what God has done in your life to bring you two together, and you're about to start on this incredible journey that has ups and downs, but it's fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's a celebration, it's a party, it's not the be all and end all. Your whole life has not come up to this point. At the end of the day, it is one day, and whether it costs you 10 grand or 1 grand or 200 quid, like, it doesn't matter how much it costs, it's how you treat it. And it has to be in your head that this is a moment to celebrate what God is doing. It doesn't matter what's in it, how much it costs. If something goes wrong, it's probably going to be hilarious. So
it's like a sugar
all
rush,
of that weight shouldn't be there. And I think it's wrong for society to put it on us, but maybe we shouldn't carry it as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I'm saying it's like a sugar rush. It's like when if you make it about the wedding day, it's all that excitement up until the day, you're all excited, then you get married, there's two of you just in the home, you're like, oh, okay, what now? Like it just kind of goes down, and it almost kind of leaks into idolizing. So Corinthians says that as a temple of God, there's no place for temple of God and idols. They just don't match. When we get into marriage or we get proposed to, it's like the wedding. It becomes an idol, and we just kind of forget ourselves. So I think, like you're saying, it's just so much more. Yeah.
Well, praise God. What an amazing way to just go on our break. An amazing way to guys just rounded it up there. Guys, we're going to go on a break now. Enjoy this ministration. We'll see you soon.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Vincent, and I'm joined today by the lovely guitarist Pedro, and I'll be singing my song called Joy is in the King. Some want money and gold, others want many things, but I'm content with you, Lord. You're my everything, even if I don't receive the things I've been asking for. I don't need them, Lord. You're all I need and more, yes. Some want money and gold, others want many things, but I'm content with you, Lord. You're my everything. Some try to fill the void with all the world can bring, but don't you see that your joy is in the King? If I don't receive these things that I think I need, it doesn't matter at all. No, you're not the replacement of them, Lord. No, everything I need is found in you now, yes. I tried to pursue these things, thinking they would bring me joy. They only left me thinking, Lord, yes, there must be more. There must be more. There must be more. There must be more. Some want money and gold, others want many things, but I'm content with you, Lord. You're my everything, even if I don't receive the things I've been asking for.